When my grandmother came to this country from British West Indies in 1913, she brought with her a recipe for pepper pot soup. Growing up in Philadelphia, my mother often made this soup and passed the recipe along to me. Pepper pot first came to Philadelphia area in the mid-18th century from the West Indies region of the Caribbean. Enslaved Africans brought an indigenous version of pepper pot that originated in West Africa. It was a communal dish. The recipe just had some general guidelines, some meat, some vegetables, and some other available ingredients. Just cook slowly in one pot and serve with bread. And that is what I have here today. Some meat, a pound of honeycomb tripe, or other meat to your liking, and bacon. Some vegetables, celery, leeks, green bell peppers, a large potato, 2 large carrots, a bunch of parsley from my garden, and any other available ingredients. Some herbs, thyme, marjoram, ground cloves, crushed red pepper, bay leaf, and black pepper. 2 quarts of beef stock, and butter and flour for a roux. The first thing I need to do is to put the tripe or other meat selected in the saucepan. Cover with water, and when it boils, turn off the heat. I'll allow the meat to cool a bit in the water, and then I'll drain and rinse and cut the meat into 1/4 inch pieces. While that's cooking, I'll prep the vegetables. Chopping the parsley, celery, and leeks, dicing the green peppers and onions. I purchased these herb scissors in Lyon, France, and they are really terrific for cutting parsley. By the late 18th century, pepper pot had become well known in the American colonies. In 1792, the recipe appeared in the first cookbook produced in America, The New Art of Cookery, published in Philadelphia. One myth has it that this is the soup that kept Washington and his men alive at Valley Forge. Now that the tripe has cooled, I'll dice it into 1/4 inch pieces. By the early 19th century, pepper pot became more prominent in Philadelphia. In fact, there's a painting called Pepper Pot as seen in the Philadelphia Market at the Philadelphia Museum of Art by the early American painter John Lewis Krimmel. It shows free black women working as entrepreneurial street vendors selling pepper pot. After the tripe is diced, I'll saute the bacon in a heavy skillet and then add onion, celery, leeks, parsley, and green pepper, and then saute until it's tender. When that's ready, I'll stir in the beef stock, the herbs and spices, and I'll bring it to a boil and turn it down to simmer. Now cover and cook for about 2 hours. For more than a century, Philadelphia pepper pot was both a popular street food and a specialty dish at high-end restaurants. In 1927, the Campbell Soup Company across the river in New Jersey from Philadelphia started selling pepper pot soup for 12 cents a can. They advertised it as the same version served at the favorite club of Philadelphia's early colonial aristocracy. When the meat is good and tender, I add potato, carrots, and the already cooked tripes and cook for another 20 minutes. Then stir in the roux, simmer while stirring until the soup thickens a bit. In the 21st century, Philadelphia pepper pot has fallen out of favor a bit. But at City Tavern, a reconstructed Revolutionary War restaurant at 2nd and Walnut Streets in Philadelphia, you can still order this soup or make it yourself like I do.